What's up, guys? Another Music Gear Monday back in the lab, and today we are back in Ableton. Most music programs or DAWs are going to allow you to do this. You might hear the term vocal chain a lot of times inside of recording. I'm going to show you today how to create a vocal chain inside of Ableton, which applies to most DAWs. So we're going to hop in. It's going to be a quick one. We could dive more in depth in the comments below. So let's get started. We're here in Ableton Live, and I have a new session open. What we want to do is create a vocal chain. And an example, in my favorites up here, I have a simple vocal chain created by a buddy of mine named Slot A, which I tweaked a little while ago, but still the same. What consists of this vocal chain is an EQ, a compressor, a delay, and then a reverb. And all of these effects right here are put together inside of this vocal chain right here. So this one unit here, I can drop onto any track and I can have all of these effects available to me on that track. Now, how to create that is what we're going to hop into. So let's start with some of our favorite plugins. So if you want to, you can go to your plugins folder, you can go to your VSTs, and you can go to some of your favorite plugins. I'm going to grab a EQ, okay? We're going to grab this EQ, and then we are going to grab a compressor. Okay, we have our compressor. Then we are going to grab a delay. Then we're going to grab a reverb. So you have these 4 different effects, and starting from left to right, that's how your audio is going to process. Your audio is going to come through the EQ, then it's going to go through the compressor, then it's going to go through your delay, then it's going to go through your reverb. And there's no set way really on which effect goes in the vocal chain first. It's really up to preference. I know a lot of people that switch their compression and EQ around a lot depending on what they're recording. So it really just depends on what you are recording. So if we go and find a vocal sample. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. So if we take this vocal and we drop it into our track here. Get up, get up, get up, everybody, get up, get up. You can see that it's running through each one of these effects. Get up, get up, get up, everybody, get up, get up. So that's dry. Get up, get up, get up, everybody, get up, get up, get up. That's with all of these effects on. And obviously you're going to want to go in and you're going to want to, tweak a lot of the different effects that you have or what you have going on in here. And from there, you can kind of dial in your sound. Get up, get up, come on, get up, get up. So once you have your sound dialed in Ableton, you're able to save your vocal effects or these effects into a chain and save that chain. So what I can do is I can click on all of these effects here at the bottom and I can group them. And so now I have them inside of this group here. So once I expand this rack here, you can see all of the different effects inside of this rack here. This audio rack you can rename. I can rename this rack my favorite Vox chain. And then what you can do is you can save this inside of your favorites. Once I have the sound that I want dialed in, I can create a new folder down here, or I could use my user library and I can drag this into my user library, and you could see it right here, my favorite vocal chain. That way, anytime I go into this user library, I could drag and drop this vocal chain onto any track that I want. and I can get those same effects. And obviously, everybody's going to be a little bit different in how they approach, using vocal chains and what they're going to use it on. It comes all down to what you're recording and preference. But this should help you kind of dial it in and figure out what you like. If you record yourself a lot and you dialed in a certain sound that you want, make sure to save that sound. You could save that sound in Ableton by doing this. You can also save templates. And I believe in a lot of other programs, it's the same. So if we go into something like Logic and we go into our mixer window, you can see my vocals coming in there. We can add an EQ. We can add different effects down here. We can add a compressor. So there's our compressor. We can add a delay, and so on and so forth. And for this, these effects are going to go from the top through the bottom. So you're going from the top through the bottom. And I would say once you dial in a certain sound that you want, especially within Logic and Pro Tools, I would save templates. So inside of Logic, in the menu, you have this Save as Template option. I would save this as a template in your projects and type it as my favorite vocal temp or something. And from there, anytime you go into Logic, you can open from a template. So you can always go new from template, and you can go into your templates, and then there's your template right there, my favorite vocal template. So you could do that in Logic, you could do that in Pro Tools. But once you dial in a sound and you have a chain that you want, it just makes recording a lot easier and less daunting if you're quickly trying to create something and get into your creativity. But yeah, that's how you create a vocal chain. Whether or not this chain is the right chain for you, that's up to you. You're going to have to play around with some effects. And we'll dive deeper in another video, maybe talk about how you can map some of these macros and some of the different functionalities of grouping effects inside of Ableton. So that's going to be it for today's Music Gear Monday. Hopefully that helps you guys dive in, start creating some fun vocal chains or fun group effects inside of Ableton or Logic or Pro Tools, whatever you're using. Leave a comment below. Let me know your favorite vocal effects to use. That's going to be it for this week's Music Gear Monday. We'll be back next Monday. Until next week, I'm Carl Carell. It's Music Gear Mondays. Peace. Shout out to our sponsors today, Crate Connect Digital Record Pool, providing tons of new music, new releases, hundreds of different genres and chart-topping hits, everything and anything, instrumentals, acapellas, Latin, moombahton, techno, dance hall, even country music. So if you're a DJ and you want to spruce up your music library, this is a great tool to utilize. The price is just right, with different options from 30 days, 90 days, and 180 days. With high resolution audio, this is a great option for anybody wanting to expand their DJ library. They even have a clothing shop. This one's my favorite. Make sure to hop on over, check out Crate Connect. I will be putting a link in the description below, which will include a discounted price. So make sure to hop on that while it lasts.